Is the Budweiser Columbia Cup. That was the 7-Eleven crew. This is the Budweiser, and it is having trouble getting started. As a matter of fact, Jim Kropfeld, the pilot, Bernie Little trying to get a chase boat out there as the 7-Eleven goes out in the background. And big trouble with the U-100. They've got a hole in the back end near the transom. I don't know if they lost a prop. Maybe it ripped a hole. If it broke, we'll simply have to wait and see. The Budweiser's gotten started, so Kropfeld will be out there in Heat 1B as the troubles continue here for the boat, as they like to call it. Looking at the drivers, George Johnson, a veteran out of Seattle, driving the Oh Boy Alberto. Also Milner Irvin, good to see him back driving again. He was in Miami driving the Frank Kenny Unlimited. Steve Reynolds in the turbine-powered Miss 7-Eleven, driving in his home state. Tom DeEath and the Squire Shop. What a show he put on in Evansville 2 weeks ago. And finally, the national point leader, Jim Kropfeld. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats running, and it is a legal start here in Heat 1B. George Johnson, the Oh Boy Alberto, engine problems. The 7-Eleven, a piece of a buoy hanging on its rear wing. So we get word from the tower, the 7-Eleven has been penalized. Steve Reynolds hitting a buoy while setting up for the start of today's race. He is in last place automatically, penalized 1 lap. In second place then will be the Frank Kenny Unlimited, with first place belonging to this man, Jim Kropfeld, out of Cincinnati, Ohio, in the Budweiser Turbine. Second place, Milner Irvin, and the Squire Shop with Tom DeEath. What a gorgeous shot. Look at the beating this boat takes as it comes around the west turn here on this 2.5-mile course. The Kenny has somehow missed a buoy, and Milner Irvin's having to loop around.
It takes tremendous wheel force to hold the boat straight. He probably caught the chime, and the back end lifted and went around, and he had to make the buoy back up again and go back onto the course.
Leif Borgeson, in the meantime, his driver, Milner Irvin, missing a buoy. The torque on those boats sometimes can be overwhelming. Milner Irvin back on a even keel now as he goes down the back line. And of course, this boat, the 7-Eleven, is in last place at this point because of that penalty for hitting a buoy. Kind of tough to get away with it when you've got the evidence hanging on that rear wing. The perspective shot, as you see, the Budweiser with a solid lead now and bouncing around that east turn. The turns, as I said during Heat 1A, a little choppier than normal. This is normally considered one of the fastest courses in America, but the chop has been worse than in the past. Here's the Squire Shop moving in very tight, and taking over second place is Tom DeEath as he goes past Milner Irvin and the Frank Kenny Unlimited. Jim Kropfeld looking for victory number 15. He got his career 14th victory 2 weeks ago in Evansville and displayed some of the finest driving I personally have seen in the last 10 years. Jim Kropfeld here again going around. A gorgeous shot from our left turn camera as you're right in the cockpit along with Mr. Kropfeld. Down the main chute is the Budweiser. In the meantime, around the west turn, it'll be the Squire Shop and Company as he tries to hold pace and pick up 300 points. Tom DeEath, that is. Physically, the 7-Eleven is in second place, but of course, that doesn't matter. After hitting a buoy, that is a 1-lap penalty on Steve Reynolds. Second place belonging to the Squire Shop. KPLZ, a local Seattle station, a co-sponsor of that boat in this race. The Budweiser going wide. Kropfeld then cutting in around the turn, hugging the apex buoy, and then going wide down the straightaways, trying to save his boat now as it gets choppier and choppier in each turn here in Tri-Cities. The 7-Eleven, normally known as a very stable boat, getting a lot of air under it as well as they go around the bridge turn here in front of better than 45,000 people. Milner Irvin out of Coral Gables, Florida, driving what this used to be the Budweiser last year. You might remember when it had a Griffin engine in it. Now they, of course, have the Allison engine, the turbocharged Allison. The checkered flag waiting now for Jim Kropfeld going way wide. Look out, the Oh Boy Alberto getting near some of the life rafts. I don't think Kropfeld knew that Alberto was there. In the meantime, the winner of this heat will be the Budweiser. Jim Kropfeld, 400 points to the Bud. 5-boat start, 5 finish. No attrition rate this time. The Bud, the Squire Shop finishing 1 and 2. Let's go down to the pits now with Jim Kropfeld.
Jim, tough time starting, but once you got going, it was fine. What happened?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to the mechanics about that. It just didn't want to go, and I kept playing around with the switches, and finally it started.
Did you see the 7-Eleven destroy that buoy?
No, I didn't. I saw some orange on his tail out there. I thought it was part of his heat blanket. The crew forgot to take off.
Bernie, yeah, you were a little nervous when it didn't get started.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. I was about to swim out to the boat. I don't know what happened. I haven't got to debrief Jim here, but Normally, we always run a heat before a lap or two before we go racing, and we didn't this morning. So it won't happen again, but he did a Herculean job, and we want to see 7-Eleven in there.
Okay, Don.
Some conclusive evidence. Part of a buoy still hanging on the wing of the 7-Eleven, and that is why they are getting fourth-place points. Elsewhere down pit row, Cellular One trying to make an engine change before the second flight of heats. Back in a minute.